Welcome back, DoomTubers, to another video, one we haven't done for a while. It's a game discussion, and of course we are all smiles right now, all smiles, because we just beat Etrian Odyssey 4 Legends of the Titan for the Nintendo 3DS. And I tell you what, this game is freaking brilliant. If there was any doubt that that would be my opinion of this game, then here it is now. Here it is. This game is freaking brilliant. Now, I've really took my time with this game. Not just in as far as like amount played, but also like the span of time that it's taken me to play it. Now, I started it in the middle of March. And now today is well, it's well into the early hours of the morning on the 12th of May, so right at about 2 months to finish this game. But no regrets on taking my time with it, because it never, not that it would have, but it never got old. It never wore on me at all. And even though, and it's in some respects, the Etrian Odyssey games are pretty grindy. I played it on easy, or on casual. I don't even know if it's called easy. Casual, the lowest difficulty, which is fine, whatever. I mean, some people have a problem with that, you know, with saying that it doesn't give you a challenge. But you know what? I think if you play it the right way, even if I had played the same way, probably on normal, then I probably, sure, it would have added more challenge, but I think just the way that I play the game, it probably wouldn't have been overly difficult for me. That said, I've heard a lot of people have a lot of trouble with the bosses, the final bosses in this game. Bosses, because there is two. Yeah, that's a minor spoiler, I guess. And rightfully so. I mean, they're tough. Both of them are. And if you're underleveled, then yeah, you'll have some trouble. I think I was in the mid to upper 60s with 4 of my 5 characters, and then the 5th one was a late recruit. It was actually one of the Imperial soldier that offers to join your party. I went ahead and I can't pronounce his name, and it's a little bit of a spoiler anyway if I tell you his name. So I won't tell you his name. But so yeah, he joins your party, and I think he's at level 50. Maybe he's at level 48 when he joins your party. So come boss time, I would think I was actually around mid to upper 50s. I think he ended at like 58, right at about 10 levels under the other characters. But it proved, because that class, the Imperial class, it's hard to describe the class. Basically, they wield this gigantic mechanical sword, two-handed mechanical sword, that has these drive abilities that also can have elemental damage to them. So they're super powerful attacks, and I've heard it said that you need an Imperial class character to beat this game. And there is some subclass abilities. At some point during the game, you get the ability to give each character a subclass. And then again later on at some point, the Imperial class becomes a subclass option. Or if you wanted to grind up a character from the bottom, you can actually pick an Imperial class. But there are some options that make it so you don't have to start at level 1. You can make them go up to like level 40 or something like that instantly. It's just some built-in in-game features to prevent you from having to grind for like 40 hours to get a character up to playable level to match with your other characters, and for the difficulty level of the bosses. Just some kind of safeguards built into the game, which is also brilliant, you know. But you have to know where to look for them. You have to. It's weird where they are. They're like, you have to go to the pub, or I think it's called like the Dancing Peacock in this game. which is where you accept side quests, your side quest missions, and then you have to talk to just random people in the pub. Like there's a talk option or gather information option, and you have to like scroll through and talk to all these different people who are just names on the screen. You don't actually walk around and see anyone. It's just text. And then you're given that option. And there's a couple other classes too. The vessel class and I can't. It's a weird name. There's another class between Imperial and the vessel. They're like beast character of some kind, but that's another option too. This game, I finished it, I think, at about 47 hours, which is far below what most other people that I've talked to played this game. Most people were at the like 70-hour mark, and admittedly, I spent a lot of time with side quests and things early on, and then at some point, I just stopped doing the side quests because some of them got a little bit too convoluted and a little bit too difficult, and there was a couple I couldn't figure out. So I just kept going on. But then also the game itself really picked up the pace story-wise, and the areas, the lands, the overworld areas became a little bit more difficult, and then the dungeons, the mazes also became, increasingly difficult. And by the time you're in the fourth maze, you're really trying to stay alive for as long as you can. The fourth land, I think I said the fourth maze. Fourth land, and then it turned to fourth maze, and then the fifth maze, which is bonkers, crazy once you finally get to that point. But for a game series that really doesn't depend much on storytelling, it's more about the gameplay, the first-person dungeon crawler, the map making, all these different things that make Etrian Odyssey so great. This had a really, really fantastic story. I actually really, really love this story. So much so that except for the fact that they're not set characters who don't, so your characters don't have personalities per se, they just are the way they are. Also, there's no cutscenes, no voice acting or anything like that. That was present in Etrian Odyssey Untold, the Millennium Girl. That said, those extra things that made this game great still hold true for this game. But I really don't know which one I truly liked better. This is a really fantastic game. I have beaten the final boss, but there's a lot of post-game. I guess I don't know if there's a lot. There's availability of a lot of post-game in the New Game Plus, of course. I don't know if I'm gonna mess with New Game Plus. Probably not, because I don't really want to start over. But I think I have the option to go do all of these side quests that I had skipped thus far. I'm pretty sure I still have the option to go do all that stuff if I want to, and also I think that there are a number of other side quests now available now that I've defeated the Heavenbringer. But I also think that there are some more now even more difficult monsters to face, because in each land, at least the first three, when you're traveling in your airship through these lands, looking for mazes and things, looking for the dungeons, there are every now and then there will be a certain elemental dragon show up, and you're just urged to stay away from the dragon, because if you get into the path of the dragon, it just like smashes your airship and you end up having to go back to the town. Or I don't know, if you're playing on normal or whatever, if it smashes into your airship, you probably get a game over. But I think now that I've beaten the final boss, now that I have the option to fight these dragons, I think. I'm not sure yet, but I think that's probably a thing. But yeah, I mean, obviously I've kind of gone into this entire discussion, not really a review because I don't really review games. I've gone into this kind of whole discussion with, you know, assuming that my viewers have at least somewhat of a knowledge of Etrian Odyssey. So I'm speaking as if you know what, even a little bit about the game. Definitely check out some gameplay footage, you know, if you're interested, and if you have a 3DS, there's no reason that you shouldn't own this game if you're a fan of RPGs, especially first-person dungeon crawlers, because as far as first-person dungeon crawlers go, yeah, right here, these are two of my all-time favorite games, period. And definitely one of my all-time favorite series. And it's so bizarre, too, because I play so few RPGs in a year anyway. I'm kind of slow at them. I really love them. I love RPGs, but it's just so tedious sometimes. That's why some of them bother me, because they're so tedious. Even if I'm enjoying it, I still get overwhelmed. But I have never been overwhelmed by these games. 3, a little bit, not so much, but a little bit. I really need to start over 3, because I think my problem with Etrian Odyssey 3 is that, yeah, it's more difficult than these, but I don't think I just started it, you know, completely blind. I didn't know anything about the series at all when I started, and I don't think I got the best party build, and I know that I didn't allocate my skill points correctly. I just know that I didn't do a very good job, and it's kind of disappointing too, because it's like, man, I was in the second stratum, I think, and I did draw an awful lot of maps already. But yeah, I need to go back and start that one over. So who knows? Maybe I'll get a wild hair and do that now that I'm finished with Etrian Odyssey 4. But I don't know. Maybe I'll play something else, because I kind of like to have a 3DS game, or, you know, DS 3DS game going all the time. So maybe I'll go back to something I haven't finished yet, like Soul Hackers or Paper Mario Sticker Star. You know, eyes rolling in back of head now. I know, yes. But anyway, that is about it for this discussion. Other than to say that, yeah, it's probably game of the year thus far. I mean, it's May, and it's kind of already overtaken everything that I've played so far this year. It's yeah, Etrian Odyssey 4, man, good stuff. Yeah, and I did defeat. It took me 2 tries on the first final boss and only 1 try on the second final boss. So just rubbing that in the faces of the people that didn't do that. But played it on easy. Can't brag too much. Played it on easy. Thanks for watching. Doom Waves out.